Hello, everyone, and welcome to the California Department of Education's Literacy Knowledge Building video series. In this video, Vicki Griffo and Lindsay Young will discuss the Word Builder intervention and how it supports adolescent literacy. Before we begin, let's go over a brief bit of background on the Literacy Knowledge video series. This is a series of videos on critical topics in literacy, birth through grade 12. It was developed by the California Department of Education and literacy experts in the state literacy team, and it is complementary to the work of the Federal Comprehensive Literacy State Development Grants. You can learn more about the CLSD grants by going to the California Department of Education's website and searching for CLSD. The purpose of this video series is to provide guidance and resources on critical topics in literacy, to support the work of the CLSD grants, and to build coherence between California's literacy guidance documents, standards, and frameworks, and how they all support literacy. A major objective of the CLSD grant is to bring coherence between California's guiding documents, some of which you see here, like the California Preschool Learning Foundations, the California Infant Toddler Learning and Development Foundations, the Practitioner's Guide for Educating English Learners with Disabilities, the Dyslexia Guidelines, and the California English Learner Roadmap Policy. Other content area standards and frameworks support literacy as well. The videos produced in this series will illustrate the connections between all of these documents and also explain how the documents themselves support literacy development for our students. Videos will be produced over the course of the CLSD grant period. To be informed when new videos are posted, join the CLSD listserv by sending a blank email to join-literacy-state-development-program@mlist.cde.ca.gov. And now I will turn it over to Vicki and Lindsay.
Hello and welcome to our presentation, Word Builder Intervention, a tool to support decoding multisyllabic words. I'm Vicki Griffo, Director of Cali Reads. Today, my colleague and I are here to tell you about an intervention tool developed through Cali Reads, an adolescent literacy project that works with districts across California. Our mission is to assist educators in providing evidence-based literacy instruction in order to improve student outcomes.
For more information, visit calireads.org.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Young, and I collaborate with Cali Reads as a content expert. I work for the Los Angeles Unified School District, providing intensive reading intervention to students who receive special education services. I'm also a part-time faculty member at California State University Northridge and a co-developer of the Word Builder Intervention application, funded through an OSEP-sponsored model demonstration project and Cali Reads.
Our presentation today will review the role of decoding in proficient reading, talk about adolescent struggles with decoding, and introduce a tool we developed to support struggling readers, the Word Builder Intervention application. We do a walkthrough of the Word Builder app, what it looks like, how to use it, where to find it, and we'll show you the many free resources we've developed to assist teachers in using the app, such as classroom demonstrations and even a remote learning demonstration. To begin, we want to reflect back on the role of decoding in proficient reading that was laid out earlier in this series by Dr. Marianne Wolf. You may recognize this illustration. It is Scarborough's rope. It's a fantastic illustration of the interdependency of skills necessary for skilled reading. Strands of language comprehension and strands of word recognition interweave to enable skilled reading. You can imagine that with this rope, as with any rope, when one strand is weakened or frayed, the whole rope becomes compromised. Therefore, the point of this analogy is to demonstrate how poor reading skills in any one area will break down skilled reading. Many of the struggling adolescent readers we work with in Cali Reads demonstrate a weakness in word recognition skills. But unfortunately, for older struggling readers, instruction in word recognition is lacking because in general, we expect that students are learning to read in elementary, right?
In the image on the screen, strands of rope representing language comprehension and word recognition are twined together, representing increasingly strategic and automatic skilled reading, which is fluent execution and coordination of word recognition and text comprehension. Language comprehension is comprised of background knowledge, facts and concepts, vocabulary, breadth, precision, and links, language structures, syntax and semantics, verbal reasoning, reference and metaphor, and literacy knowledge, print concepts and genres. Word recognition is comprised of phonological awareness, syllables and phonemes, decoding, alphabetic principle, spelling sound correspondence, and sight recognition of familiar words.
But for an adolescent reader struggling with word recognition, instruction can't end there. That is because the struggle with decoding is exacerbated for adolescent readers as they get older. The texts they're expected to read in middle school are more challenging and complex. And a majority of the new words they will encounter are multisyllabic, thus placing a high demand on decoding ability. In the absence of decoding ability, struggling readers will typically skip long words, mispronounce them, or stop reading altogether. But explicit instruction in word recognition can help. These readers need strategies for breaking apart longer multisyllabic words.
One solution is Word Builder Intervention. Word Builder is a free application, an instructional tool that's used for teaching older readers who struggle how to break down multisyllabic words. This was one of the instructional tools that was referenced in an earlier webinar as part of a multi-component reading intervention program. In the LA intervention program, it proved to be such a beneficial tool and so motivating for adolescents who struggle with reading that Callie Reeds used project funds to make it more widely available. And the result is a free application available for download on Google Play, the Amazon App Store, and the Apple App Store. Now I'll lead you through a brief demonstration of Word Builder. When you open the application, you're taken to the home screen. Here you can select Teacher Resources, and you're taken to wordbuilderapp.com, where you can access instructional videos, the scope and sequence, and research. Student accounts are saved on individual devices. One iPad holds up to 50 accounts. So if you are a new student on this particular device, you would select New Student, enter your name, select an animal icon, and click Create. If you've already created an account on this device, then you can go to Returning Student. Select your account, and you're taken to the unit selection screen. Word Builder has 18 units. Each unit contains 3 parts that aren't leveled, meaning part 3 is not more challenging than part 1. Each unit has a total of 30 words. Let's go to Unit 1, Part 1. Here, I'm taken to the unit start screen. This has the target prefixes, suffixes, and vowel sounds that I need to know before I can master this Word Builder unit. When I press Start, I'm taken to the breakdown screen. I can personalize this screen by going to the top right-hand corner and clicking on the capital A's. Here, I can choose a background color. I can make the font larger. After that, I go down and I select my writing utensil. Then I break down the word. I circle the prefix in, circle the suffix ing, underline the vowel I, and divide, leaving one vowel sound in each word part. Insisting, insisting. Then I read the target word in a sentence. My dad is insisting that I run with our dog. After I've broken down the word, I can select Build. Here I'm taken to a screen with color-coded word parts, and I build the target word. In, I, st, ing, insisting. Next, I cover the word, and I write it again. In, ist, ing. I uncover and check the word insisting, And finally, I check for mastery. Insisting. If I spell it correctly, I earn a coin. When I click on navigation, I can see the words that I've mastered by looking for words that have turned green. Here, I have the option to go down to my next word or exit the unit. Here, I'm taken back to the unit selection screen, and I can see the words I've mastered, the units I've completed, and the coins I've earned. If I want to spend my coins, I'm taken to the rewards screen, where I have an option to play one of 3 non-academic games. This is Word Builder. Word Builder is guided by a simple and flexible decoding strategy for multisyllabic words. Circle the prefixes, circle the suffixes, and underline the remaining vowels. Then divide the word, leaving 1 vowel sound per word part. Students are explicitly taught the strategy, as well as specific word parts, including vowel combinations and affixes. Word Builder provides a comprehensive scope and sequence to guide teachers' use. It also incorporates multisensory features known to motivate and engage learners. With the practice that Word Builder provides in breaking apart and building multisyllabic words, struggling older readers gain the skills and confidence needed to decode grade-level text. Word Builder was created as an instructional tool for teachers to use in small groups with 1 to 6 students. Word Builder sessions are designed to last for 15 to 30 minutes for students reading between a mid-second and 5th grade level. This sample instructional schedule would be appropriate for a class of up to 18 students and can accommodate class periods from 50 to 90 minutes. Teachers can adjust their schedule as needed, and it's recommended that Word Builder instruction not exceed 30 minutes. Unlike more traditional applications, Word Builder is not meant to be used independently. It's more of an interactive instructional tool, and teacher guidance is an essential part of Word Builder success. So let's see what Word Builder instruction looks like in the classroom. Here is a brief classroom video that illustrates the interactive nature of the application.
Miles, you're going to go to the start page, Unit 11, Part 1. Stay at the start page. Monica, Unit 11, Part 2. Michelle, Unit 11, Part 3. Unit 11, Part 1. And Unit 11, Part 2. Now, you both are going to start at word 10. Stay at the start page, please. Just look over there at Michelle and Monica. Okay, so here are our target suffixes and prefixes. We've already learned these, but these are going to be the focus in this unit. So, Michelle, what are the target prefixes?
Over and trans.
Good. And Monica, can you read the target suffixes?
Tiv and sieve.
Yes. Everybody, go ahead and look at those target vowel sounds. You're going to see those a lot. And what did they say?
Ow.
Wait, hold on. Our word is sauce. So everybody tap out sauce. Ah. What's the vowel sound? Ah. So those both say what? Ah. So when you underline it, you're going to say what? Okay. So guys, go ahead and begin. And our goal is to master 3 words in this session.
Over.
Good.
Ing.
Good. Ah. And then the last step, what is it?
Ed. Break it down.
Good.
What?
Overlapping.
Good. What is it?
Well.
Overhauling.
Yes, overhauling. Good. Read the sentence.
Overwhelming.
Beautiful. Miles, read the sentence.
Overwhelming. The amusement park was overwhelming and awesome.
Great. Okay, say the parts one more time.
Overwhelming.
Okay, that middle part's kind of weird. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, go build it. Okay, and what's that word, Monica?
Overlapping.
Very nice. We read the sentence.
The 2 documents were overlapping on my computer desktop.
Excellent. How many parts is that word?
3.
3. Go ahead and build it. Okay, keep on going. What's the word, Michelle?
Transparent.
Good. Read the sentence.
The window was mostly transparent, but it did have a few flaws in the glass.
Great. How many parts is that word? Monica, uncover it and check each part.
Over.
Good. Go build it.
have created these demonstration videos as part of Callie Reed's training program, and we will show you where to access these resources at the end of this webinar. Here's a more detailed look at in-person instruction. On day one, before word builder instruction, teachers should teach the affixes and vowel sounds and review the decoding strategy. On day two, in one small group, the paraprofessional can run a game-based review station of the previously taught word parts, while the teacher leads word builder instruction in another group. You still do these with remote instruction, but resources and technology access might change the schedule slightly. In a virtual setting, you might teach affixes and vowel sounds with Quizlet, a free online flashcard platform. For practicing the decoding strategy, you may use Google Draw versus whiteboards. Another consideration is student access to technology. As opposed to the typical small group class instruction that we just saw, here are two remote learning options. Small group practice, in which teacher projects the application and leads students through it. This is recommended as a first step regardless of resources. But if students have devices at home, independent work can be assigned. Let's take a moment to look at small group remote learning instruction with Word Builder. While watching this 3-minute video created during COVID-19 school closures, please keep these questions in mind. What engagement techniques are being used for remote learning? And what other engagement techniques could have been used? You will have the opportunity after the video to discuss.
I'm going to ask you all to take turns doing only one step at a time. And this is the order I want you to go into. So Lauren, Holly, Alexis, and Valerie. Okay? So you guys can go at your own pace. The only thing I ask you to do is say it out loud when you circle it or underline it. And we're going to start with Lauren doing the first step.
So I see a prefix, which is in.
Perfect. And then it's Holly's turn. So she's going to take over.
Okay.
I see a suffix and it's ed.
Okay. And then it's Alexis.
I see the vowel E making the S sound.
Good, good. And then Valerie.
She's not on the call.
Oh, okay. And then Lauren, will you divide it for us? And you can do both lines to divide.
Okay, so after this, and there's just one vowel, so I have 3 parts.
Perfect. So Holly, will you read the first part?
In.
Alexis, can you read the middle part?
Vent.
And Lauren, can you read the third part?
Ed.
Nice. So Holly, can you blend that word together?
Invented. Invented.
Nice. Alexis, can you read the sentence?
When was the TV invented?
Okay, so Lauren, it's your turn to bring down the, or put a stamp next to the prefix I should bring down.
I have to change to the stamp.
Okay, and Alexis, you can go ahead and put a mark next to the first letter, or you could do the whole middle part. Good. Good. Holly, will you bring the suffix? Yes, great. Okay, now back to Lauren. She has to read it.
Invented.
And looks like Holly gets to write it below. Beautiful. And Alexis, I'm going to ask you to check her work.
Invented. She got it.
Awesome. And Lauren, I'm going to ask you to put in the chat box what I should type to check for mastery. So Lauren, put in this spelling. Everyone say the word one more time.
Invented.
Good, invented. What if I added the prefix re to the beginning of invented? What would that word be?
Reinvented.
Yes, yes. And what if I took off the ed?
Reinvent.
What if I took off the re?
Invent.
Invent.
What if I took off in?
Vent.
Revent.
Please pause the video to discuss the following questions. I'm sure you discussed many engagement tools, and here are some based on using Zoom with remote learning during each stage of Word Builder. For breaking down words, you can have everyone use the annotation feature to circle the prefixes, circle the suffixes, and underline the vowels. Everyone should say the affixes and vowel sounds. You can have students raise their hands if they can read each part, read the whole sentence. Building words, ask students to annotate next to the prefix, annotate next to the suffix, or type it in the chat box. Select a student to remind us of the word or say the sounds as they're pulled down. For spelling, you can have students take turns writing the parts on the screen, or again, use the chat box. And to check for mastery, every student should private chat you the word. Again, this is one piece of a multi-component intervention program. Word Builder addresses word recognition, and when there are word recognition struggles, all aspects of reading are impacted, including student motivation. I'd like to share a personal anecdote of using Word Builder in an intervention class in LAUSD. My first year teaching reading intervention to 9th graders, I had a parent come to me at the end of the semester and say, "Thank you. My son is 15, and for the first time ever, he asked me to sit down and read a book with him." Remember, it's not too late for adolescents to make great reading gains.
The calireads.org website is an excellent place to access many project materials. Let's take a look at the Word Builder page where many of the resources we've shared today are available. Go to calireads.org/wb-modules.html. We'll take a minute to take a look at what's on this page. At the top, you can see where the app is available. It's available at the Apple App Store, on Google Play, and on the Amazon App Store for the Kindle. If we scroll down, we'll see the full video for remote learning that features Lindsay Young and the PowerPoint. If you keep going, we've developed a series of 4 learning modules that support teacher use of the Word Builder app. So there's 4 modules that are available here: an overview, decoding strategy module, building and spelling multisyllabics module, and boosting Word Builder effects. Those courses will help you as a teacher navigate the use of the Word Builder app. Thank you for joining us today. We trust that you'll find Word Builder to be a useful addition to your intervention toolkit. Please reach out if you have any questions or want additional information about Word Builder or other materials developed through the Cali Reads project. Director Vicki Griffo can be reached at vgriffo@napacoe.org. And coach, consultant, and co-developer Lindsay Young can be reached at lindsay.young@lausd.net. Funding for Cali Reads comes from OSEP at the U.S. Department of Education. The project is facilitated by the Napa County Office of Education in collaboration with the Special Education Division at the California Department of Education. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for viewing Word Builder Intervention, a tool to support decoding multisyllabic words. Access the discussion questions to deepen your learning with your colleagues, and make sure to watch the next video in the series, Important Principles and Cautions in Reading Remotely. Thank you.